discuss now is some of those open offers and delistings which are coming about from the MNC companies. The two gentlemen who've been tracking this for us, Jagannathan Thununguntla and Ashish Tatar, joins in as well once again. Morning to both of you. Jagannathan, let me start with AstraZeneca, where the maximum price indicated is 1152. The stock price is at 1300. How do you see that situation evolving?
Yeah, I mean, as we have discussed it last time, it's almost a guaranteed sell. I mean, it is better to sell it off. If somebody is already having AstraZeneca shares in their portfolio, don't even wait for a minute. For the 1152, which is a rare phenomena, then because generally the companies have a tendency to give the offer price, which is the base price, because which is as per the legal requirement. But the cap price generally not many companies give, but here if the company is giving, what it is indicating is at beyond 1152 they are reserving a right for rejecting the offer if the price that is determined in the reverse book building is more than that. So yesterday the share price has already corrected 5%, and I think it's just a matter of time before the share price may come down below 1152 levels. And even at 1300, the share is trading at 60 times PE multiple, historic. So by any standards, it is not undervalued. So there is no point in living in a hope that the company may revise the offer price or the reverse book building price. So it is better to be sensible and book the profits.
What do you think, Jagannathan? ABB, it's better to sell in the market now at 860 or to tender in the offer at 900?
Yeah, I mean, if we assume the LIC is going to participate its full shares, the acceptance ratio works out to something like 48-50%. That means 50% of your holdings, there is a buyer standing there at 900 rupees. That is the promoter. For the remaining 50% shares that are going to be non-accepted, that is the tricky part. Then, for example, the break-even price that is coming is around 820 rupees, assuming LIC is going to participate entirely. But one thing is sure, it's almost guaranteed after July 27th, once the open offer period completes, the share price is bound to come down to 830, 820 levels at least. So for the non-accepted shares, the shareholders will be running a big risk of losing some money. So at 860, not a bad price to book profits if you are already in profits. And for the savvy investors who can understand the open offer a little bit, I think they can play for the game of the open offer. But even for them, arbitrage has virtually disappeared, because if you see even the F&O position, if somebody wants to short the non-accepted portion of the shares, the problem is the August future is trading at 830 rupees, technically indicating that the share price is going to come down to 830 levels once the offer price is going to complete. So I think when the stock has moved from 680 levels to 860 levels, from after that open offer announced, almost whatever the juice or the arbitrage that is left has already been taken away. As rightly mentioned by Ashish, at the current levels the stock is trading at very, very high levels. But one catch here is that if there is no sufficient response in the open offer, then the promoters or the company may increase the open offer price, because they want to take their stake to 75% at any cost. So there is an expectation that one school of that the offer price may be revised to 1000 rupees or 1050. But that's a big if. If you are ready to play that if, you can stay invested. Otherwise, it's right time to sell.
Any tax angle out here between the open offer and selling in the current market, which might influence your decision, Jagannathan?
Can you say that again? Sorry.
Any tax angle on how much you pay if you tendered in an open offer versus if you sell in the secondary market?
That's right. In fact, if you sell in the open market, then the tax implication will be less, because you will be paying the STT, so you will not be attracted to that. But if you tender in the open offer, which is not considered to be the sell in the open market for the STT guideline purposes, in that scenario, you will be attracted with the tax. But however, if you are a long-term investor with more than 1 year holding, so anyway it doesn't matter, because there is no tax on the long-term capital gains. But if you are a short-term trader, short-term capital gains tax will be attracted if you go through open offer route. So that also needs to be taken into account.
Jagannathan, if you had to pick one for the next MNC delisting move, which one would you go for?
And wait, there's a company like Honeywell Automation that can be one more player that may come, because, and besides that also, then there are about 29 companies, and out of the which are MNCs which are having more than 75% holding. After that finance ministry guideline of minimum holding, I'm sure all these 29 are probable candidates, ranging from Blue Dart, ranging from etc. etc. Only Oracle has openly said that they are not going with the delisting offer. So remaining 28 candidates, there is a likely situation. But one thing about within here I would like to add is that while the awareness about the delisting in the retail segment or the general public segment is quite less, that's the reason many of these delistings may come, but very difficult for them to translate. So probably CNBC has to do delisting awareness seminars, like as you do investor awareness seminars, for if these delistings have to be successful, because many of these retail shareholders didn't even dematted their shares. So expecting them to participate in the delisting is very tricky. And here I would like to add a couple of points. In case of delisting, I mean, understanding the rules of the game are important. At the time of the reverse book building, if you tender your share at certain price, you cannot revise your price downwards. For example, in case, let's take example of AstraZeneca. Let's say 1300 rupees is the current price. Let's say you anticipated, let me quote 10,000 rupees on your share price in the reverse book building. If then after once you quote 10,000, you cannot revise your bid downwards. So these are the some of the fine points you have to remember. And one more thing, on the last day of the reverse book building, neither you can withdraw your tender nor you can revise upwards your tender price. So that means you have to be careful even at the time of the tendering also, because many retail investors have a fancy towards quoting whatever the exorbitant prices like 10,000, 20,000 rupees, and eventually seeing that their shares not being accepted in the part of the offer. And once the reverse book building closes, you have a 1-year window before which you can send it to the company or the promoter for your shares to tender at the same price at which the price has been determined in the reverse book building. So these finer points and some learning has to happen in the Indian markets and especially in the retail segment for these delistings to really go through and materialize.
Thanks, gentlemen, both of you, for taking us through some of those names.